Manology Podcast, episode 01. I'm Dan O'Matic.
And I am Mad Matt.
And the whole mission of this podcast, what we are trying to do with this, is to just bring some sort of awareness to younger men that it's okay to be a fucking man. In fact, it's encouraged.
Absolutely.
Matt had some topics that we were going to talk about, and man, we had a really great conversation off camera, and I wish we would have been rolling for it, but
yeah,
I guess we're gonna try our best to recreate some of the things that we just talked about because we didn't have them running. So, Matt, what was that first topic?
The demonization of masculinity from society.
Yeah. So the demonization of masculinity within society stems from social media. Anything that's masculine has been deemed toxic, which
absolutely
it started with new generation of feminism, and they started with some really good fucking points. They started with rape culture and boys clubbing and shit like that. Which, yes. I mean, I don't even know if that's the correct term for it, but I mean, like, the whole, like, there were certain jobs where, like, it was a total boys club. There was no way that a female in that field had the chance. So there were so, like I said, and we talked about this before too off camera. These movements, they start with fucking shit that I 1,000% can get behind, and I'm down for that cause. And then they take it to the fucking extreme.
Because there are those shitty people in the society that will absolutely take advantage of those situations where they can take advantage of a person, whether or not they're drunk or not. They're garbage humans.
Right. No, exactly. Yeah, that's what that comes down to, is just garbage humans. And when they start with, it ain't fucking cool for men to rape, and it ain't cool for fucking the majority of society to sweep shit like that under the rug.
Yeah.
I'm down for that fucking cause.
Right.
When they get to, you lift weights, you fucking grew a beard, you got fucking tattoos, you're a car guy.
Right.
That's toxic as fuck.
Because that doesn't make any sense.
Because that doesn't make any fucking sense.
But the crazy thing was that road started with that.
They always got to that. They always do.
And you're like, how the hell did it even get to this point?
It always starts with something that is, you can fucking get behind. You can really get behind it. Like BLM, for example. Mm-hmm. One example. Ferguson, and then with George Floyd, this past year. Like, I'm 100% down for that.
Right.
And then when it gets to the point of burning down buildings and shit.
Yeah. And you can't get mad at me because I didn't name a BLM. Well, you burned down a building that had nothing to do with any of this. This doesn't even make any sense.
Like, I marched with BLM, bro. Like, I was downtown with them.
Yeah.
After George Floyd got murdered.
Right.
And my girl was with me. Like, we were like we live in the South. So we were like 3 or 4 white faces in the crowd. I mean, there was not very many of us. But yeah, dude, I mean, I'm not just saying that I supported BLM, or that I'm not saying that I don't support BLM, but I'm just saying I don't support the insurgency that it's caused.
Absolutely.
I mean, I know a lot about fucking counterinsurgency, so I'm saying right. I don't support the insurgency that it's caused, and the destruction of private property that it's caused. But the point that I'm making is that it starts with something that I, as a fucking self-respecting man, that I have so much goddamn integrity that I won't even compromise it for myself.
Yes.
And that's what being a man means, is having so much integrity that you will do anything to avoid compromising your own integrity.
Absolutely.
That's all that you have. At the end of the day, you have to live with yourself, whether you're in a relationship, whether you're poly and you got like 6 chicks or 3 chicks and 2 dudes.
Right.
Like, whatever.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Be yourself. Yeah.
You have to live with yourself for the rest of your fucking life. So if you place integrity at the forefront of your priority list, and that, like, no matter what, I'm going to be fucking true to myself, and I'm going to be, 100% honest with myself about everything.
Yeah.
Then, like, that's really the fundamentals of being an alpha male. That's what it is. An alpha male has the ability to walk away from any situation being unscathed.
Yeah. And they're not sided with one or the other, and I'll say, safe to say, I probably I might be speaking for yourself, but like I would say that me and you're very middle leaning.
Yeah.
I don't really
you mean
care
like politically.
Politically,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Because this whole like, oh, you got to be conservative, you got to be liberal, you got to be Democrat, Republican. I don't fucking care.
Polarizing bullshit. Yeah.
And and to be honest, I think that this side of that, which we can get to the near the end of this, that is part of being like an alpha male in a sense is you don't let something define you.
Right. Exactly. If it's with you or against you, then I am against you.
Yeah. I don't care what you are. Like if you make a bad decision, I don't like you.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So like BLM saying, hey, cops don't need to be fucking shooting black dudes. Just so you know, cops really aren't supposed to fucking shoot guilty people either.
No.
Like, whether he's innocent or not doesn't make a difference. The cops aren't supposed to fucking be executing people on camera.
No, they're not.
Like, that's not a thing that they're supposed to fucking do. And I fucking support the police.
Yeah,
also,
right.
Right, like, I think that they're a fundamentally important fucking part of our society.
Yeah, we saw how Seattle happened when they took it out.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But like, I also agree that they are not supposed to be fucking killing people either.
Right.
Like that's not part of their job. If their lives are threatened, and I've seen some black guys getting shot by cops that I felt like I didn't take part in because I felt like they were clean kills by the cop.
Oh yeah.
Like I felt like I always try to put myself in that situation as somebody that's a combat shooter. Like I try to put myself in that situation, and if I feel like I would have shot, like to save my life, then I feel okay. Then I completely understand why this happened.
And I'm glad you made that point because, like, for most guys, most civilians like me, like, I've tried to put myself in that situation, but I've never been in that situation, so I can't ever say like I can look and be like, yeah, I probably would have done the same, but like, I don't know what that feels like.
Right? Yeah, because like if you've never been in a situation where you have to draw a gun and use a gun. By the way, this is not what this podcast is about.
We're getting there.
But if you've ever been in a situation where you have to draw a gun and use a gun, even as a civilian, I've had to draw my weapon. Like I've never had to use my weapon.
Yeah.
As a civilian, but I have drawn my weapon twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. One time was protecting somebody else, and another time was protecting myself. But both times were would-be robberies.
Oh shit.
Yeah. At gas stations, both times. Yeah.
No shit.
Yeah. Yeah. The very first, I was scared shitless the first time because I was ready to fucking drop that. I was like ready to kill that guy.
Damn.
He was trying to he was taking an old lady's purse out of the passenger side of her car while she was pumping gas on the driver's side.
Wow.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And like I saw it happening, and I just I'm like, dude, might put her shit back. I will splatter your. Like, dude, I was hot right then.
Yeah.
The other time was just a guy tried to rob me at knife point, downtown Charlotte.
Oh shit.
Yeah. I was just like, nah, wrong one, dude. I'm like, this ain't happening. Like,
you literally brought a knife to a gunfight.
Hold on, let me get my wallet, bro. So the whole point of what I'm saying and is getting us into our topics, because this has ran way longer than we needed to, is that the causes start with something that's very noble, and I can 100% get behind.
Yes.
And they make such overcorrections, and they put so much pressure on society and the people that support their cause, that they take it to such an extreme that I, as a man that values my own fucking integrity, get to a point with almost every cause that I've ever supported where I just jump off, where I'm like, I don't, keep going, do you, but like, I'm going to go ahead and do me right now because
I supported you in the beginning, but this isn't what
you're doing now is something that I don't necessarily support. It's not that I definitely like oppose it. Burn down buildings, I oppose.
Yeah.
Like for any fucking reason.
Right.
You're fucking destroying somebody's livelihood.
Yeah,
Especially as a business owner. Like I'm a business owner, you're a business owner.
Yeah.
Somebody fucking, took out your fucking cameras, like just started breaking your cameras
for no reason. I didn't even have anything to do with that.
And you had fuck all to do with it.
Like that, yeah.
Yeah. At this point, this is not equality you're looking for.
No, you're attacking the wrong person. I didn't do anything to you.
Right, exactly. So when we talk about the new wave of feminism saying that just being masculine at all is toxic.
Yeah.
Right? And maybe I'm reading into this wrong, but I don't feel like I am because when it started with rape culture, I'm down. You know?
Oh,
when it started with women can't say no because they're scared that they're going to get the shit beat out of them. Mm-hmm. I've fucking seen that happen in like big cities. Like I have fucking seen it. I'm down. When it gets to, typical fucking alpha bullshit. Like you're toxic as fuck. You're a fucking, what do they call me? A misogynist.
Misogynist,
yeah. I'm a misogynist because I like pussy. and lifting weights.
Yeah.
And
we're already
fucking-
sexist at that point because of that.
I like hot rods, and now I'm sexist because I said pussy. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I like hot rods and guns and fucking,
Yeah.
you know?
Yes, and that goes into this podcast we're talking about, because we have been taught for years that this is a bad thing to be manly. You're not allowed to like to do manly things. You're not allowed to be a man, grow a beard, get tattoos, you know, shoot guns. Those are bad things. Those are toxic. And when we grew up as kids, this was not a normality. Like, it was encouraged to, like, I think I was probably like 8 years old first time I shot a gun.
Yeah, I was around the same age.
Yeah, like, I mean, that was just normal. Like, that was
Yeah.
a rite of passage. Go out to the field, you shoot a gun, you feel that recoil, you're like, yeah, this is pretty cool. And then, like, you get excited about growing your first beard, as shitty as it was. Like, those were encouraged in
Oh, your
our
little
childhood.
chin pubes in fucking high school? Your little freshman chin pubes? Yeah, everybody had them.
Absolutely. And then if you got, like, a little bit of, like, you know, lip shadow, you're like, yeah, I got that mustache.
Yeah, you think you got a mustache. everybody, dude, it is what it is.
But, like, you know, those were encouraged, and then, like, when we grew up, the older we got, like, we started seeing the shift in the world. And I don't think it was too big of an issue until my kids got into public school, and my kids started getting the propaganda shoved down their throats. And it wasn't even by the teachers as much as the other kids and
The other kids are getting
influencers
it from
and stuff.
social media.
Right. Because my kids don't have social media, and I refuse to let my 11-year-old have a Facebook because I just think that's stupid. There's
Yeah,
no reason she's going to have any of that shit.
Yeah, I don't feel like your 11-year-old should be on Facebook, bro.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no reason to.
Yeah. What the fuck has she got to she's fucking 11, bro.
Right.
What's
I mean,
she got to share?
I had an issue to even giving her a phone for a while, just because, like, I don't believe that an 11-year-old should have a phone. Like, you're with me.
You got to do a risk assessment on most things as a fucking man.
Right.
Like, that's one of the things that we'll get into on probably another date or on a different video, because I was going to make smaller videos that are just basic, like, stuff, like some shorter videos that
Absolutely.
aren't in this format.
But yeah, like,
But yeah, you got to do a risk assessment on everything as a man, and like your job, literally as a man, is to be the agent in charge of your own personal security detail.
Yeah.
Which means that you're in charge of the safety of yourself first and foremost, because without you can't protect your family.
right.
Right. So if you do a risk assessment and you see, well, and I just stole that whole line from Pat Mack, by the way. Like, that's 100%. I can't even take credit for it, because I know somebody's gonna call me out in the comments. They're just gonna be like, this guy just plagiarized Pat McNamara. but I mean, he said some profound shit, and I
Yeah.
live by it. You know, like, you ever heard some shit and it just sticks with you forever.
Oh, yeah.
So that's one of the things. You know, you do that risk assessment. You're like, she's fucking 11. Does she need a phone?
Right.
Like, does she need she needs social media? Is
Right.
it going to do more harm than it is going to do good? And if the answer is yes, if the risk outweigh the reward,
Absolutely.
then there's no point.
And she had a phone for a little while, and the only reason I even had her phone was just because me and her mother have a 50-50 custody, and she needed a way to communicate with me when she was over there. So I got her phone, and that lasted for like a good 6 months because of the damage I was already seeing it happen with. And I had everything locked down. I mean, I'm in IT. I had the thing locked down. She couldn't get on any bad sites. She couldn't be on social media. But, like, she was still finding ways to, like, find crap, talk to people externally, and I was like, no, this is done. We're done. Like, I mean, she's 11 now, but at the time she was 10, and she was getting predatored by a 13-year-old girl. Yeah, just shit like that, just weird, right? But anyway, getting into what I was talking about, so they came back, and there's a lot of stuff that I started realizing, and my daughter sees me as a very manly man, and she loves it. She absolutely brags about her dad being strong. You know, my dad can kick your dad's ass.
My dad can kick your dad's ass.
And I see that, I'm like, and I feel good because I'm like, my daughter sees me as like a superhero, and that's cool.
Right.
But then she comes at the same time and talks to me about how, like, boys should be very feminine, and that's okay. And I'm like, yeah, but no.
Right, exactly. It's a yes but no thing.
Like,
if that's who they are inside,
that's cool.
yes, but boys shouldn't be feminine.
You should be encouraging them to be masculine, and I encourage my daughter to learn manly things. Like, when I change my oil in my car, I'll bring her out there and be like, you need to learn how to change oil. Yeah, absolutely. But it doesn't make you a boy. I just want to make you to know how this works.
There's a certain, fundamental list of shit that you should know how to do.
Like my boys, I teach them how to cook. They should know how to cook. That's not feminine, but they should know how to cook.
I'm the best cook in the house, bro.
Right.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
But my boys want to start wearing dresses, and wearing makeup and stuff. I'm like, why? You know, like, if that's who you are, that's who you are. But, like, but if you can't give me a valid reason just because, like, well, my friends do it, that's fucking stupid.
That's a bullshit reason.
Right.
But, I mean, like, if that's who you are inside is a motherfucker that wants to wear a dress, then by all
fucking means, go for it,
Start
bro.
wearing a dress,
I'll support
bro.
you heads on. But, like, I've been seeing that this stuff comes back from the schools that, like, it's the propaganda, and the reason I say this propaganda is because the word she says is like, well, it's cloth is cloth, or love is love, et cetera, et cetera. This is stuff that I see on social media.
Oh, absolutely.
And she don't have one, so it's coming from somewhere.
Yeah, it's a learned behavior. It's just regurgitated shit.
Yeah.
I've met a ton of men, if you could call them that their entire life's philosophy they got from a goddamn meme.
Yeah.
With like a picture of Tom Hardy on it or something. Right. Like, you know what I mean?
They picked their personality off of a fucking meme of the Joker or Tom Hardy. Yeah,
and
like,
it used to be a thing when we were growing up where you would make, like, I remember my parents making fun of people that had bumper sticker life philosophies. Like, you know what I mean? They're just like, your whole life philosophy you got from a fucking bumper sticker.
Exactly.
And it's the same thing now.
Right.
But the problem is that social media is a hell of a lot more powerful than some asshole with a sticker on his bumper.
Yeah, it is. And a lot of people,
you can be fucking downright ostracized from your whole fucking friend group for having a differing opinion.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, and that's how the world kind of has always been, but it's worse now.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's gotten so much worse with, like, and it's not even really attacking us because they know to a point, like, they can't get to us. There's some people that it just does not matter what they throw at people like us because, like, they can throw shit at me and you all day long and we're like, I don't fucking care. Like, that's a cool story, bro. I got my own beliefs. So they attack the kids because the kids are the ones that they can easily brainwash. And the reason I say this stuff is the propaganda that's been thrown at my kids is boys being feminized, but not girls being masculized, which is weird. Because girls, you would think that if this is like a equality thing, like if you want to be a boy and wear makeup, that's okay. Or if you want to be a girl and you want to work on cars, that's okay, but it's not. It's be a girl. Be a strong girl.
It's not,
but don't go lift weights. Just be a girl.
Right. It's not the same thing as saying, hey, maybe everybody, regardless of what, hoo-has you have,
right,
like in your pants, or which ones you wish you had in your pants, maybe everybody should fucking learn how to be self-reliant, regardless of their gender or sexuality. Maybe, dude, I'm telling you, I got gay friends that, like, fucking split cords of wood with a dip in. Like, you know what I mean? Like, the most masculine shit you could fucking think of. And they are attracted to men. Like,
and that is what it is.
They're alpha as fuck, but because of the laws of attraction and what alpha means, they're actually not. Yeah. Because the alpha male is the one that you breed with. Like, that's the one that the females want to breed with.
Oh, yeah.
So, but, I mean, again, though, dude, gay guys fucking pull, like, a lot. They know how to talk to women, dude.
Yeah.
It's a thing, man.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they ain't got nothing to lose.
There's that, yeah. But, like what you're saying, I 100% agree with. Like, there's a difference between telling people that they should become self-reliant, which is not necessarily, it's not masculine to work on cars. That's not a masculine thing. Like, it's not a masculine thing to know how to make a fucking fire. Like, it's not a masculine thing.
I see those as more basic life skills.
It's not a masculine thing to know how to always make sure that you wear a watch that has hands so that you can navigate if you get lost. You're not always going to have GPS.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, what if a situation happens and your phone battery's dead, you're lost in the woods, you don't know how to navigate, like, you got a watch that's got fucking hour hand on it and a rotating bezel, you can make that happen, dude.
Yeah. And that was one of the things, like, those are things that I don't think that are masculine in a sense or that make you a man, but they are great life skills. And for instance, a great example is when girls were allowed in the Boy Scouts. I didn't have any issue with that concept because I had an issue with the Girl Scouts being so adamant about focusing on selling cookies, but not teaching any survival skills. Boy Scouts, I'm an Eagle Scout, and I went through the whole thing. I learned how to survive in the wilderness, tie knots, build fires, build shelters, all that good stuff. And I hated that my girl would not be able to do that. And when they allowed girls in there, Addie was absolutely in, Boy Scouts. I put her in it.
And then we read something. I remember you sharing it about how they're not doing as much field craft. They're not doing as much navigation. They're not doing as much survival and field craft. What they're doing is like fucking home ec, which sounds just like the Girl Scouts.
Yeah, they absolutely took over the Boy Scouts, ruined it, and then they're having like girl only troops.
There's all girl troops that don't do any field craft and survival, which is the Girl Scouts.
This is Girl Scouts with extra steps.
You just made Girl Scouts again with extra steps, dude.
I removed them from public school because I did homeschool, and the reason is I wanted them to do homeschool to get them out of the other crap that I'm looking at with the stuff that we're just talking about, as well as like teaching them fundamental stuff, because I know going to my school there was not a lot of there wasn't a lot of life lessons we learned in school. If like we didn't learn how to do taxes, we didn't learn how to actually do taxes.
Didn't learn how to change stuff. Well, coming into high school, I took auto body, auto mechanics, wood shop.
But those were electives. They're not.
Those were electives, right?
They're not required.
They were not required for graduation. No,
right.
They should have been. I took home ec. That's how I learned how to sew. I learned how to fucking bake.
Yeah.
I learned how to cook. I learned how to fucking do all kinds of shit that has come in a lot of handy for me.
Yeah.
As a fucking man, like when I was up in Alaska and that wolf attacked my dog, and I had to stitch him up myself.
You wouldn't be able to know that.
I would not if I didn't take home ec. I wouldn't have known. And they took home ec out of curriculum. You can't even take it at school no more. It's not a thing.
Well, and that's the stuff that I'm what I'm talking about is this like demonization of masculinity. Isn't even just like saying, "Oh, be a man, deal with it." It's like there's stuff that we're weakening our society as a whole.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it was actually an interesting conversation. A lot of the stuff I revolve around my daughter, because my daughter is an intelligently smart girl. Like, there's no reason that she's that smart for being an 11-year-old, and we have very intelligent conversations a lot. And
she's also gonna be 100 feet tall, by the way. Like Addie is as tall as me, bro. And like I'm not a tall guy, but Jesus.
Well, she's already taller than her stepmom at this point. She's like, getting up there, but yeah, I mean, but she's very intelligent. She has a very intelligent mind and thinks about stuff that like that makes a grown man think like, what are you talking about? And one of the things we were talking about is because she loves strong women.
Sure.
And I get that. Like she's got a little bit of feminist, like old style feminist, like women should be strong, right?
Like old school women's lib,
yeah. And we've had conversations like she's like, yeah, women are strong. They're just as strong as men. And I'm like, yes and no.
They're not though, are they?
No. And I said, Addie, they are very strong. Women can be very strong. And I said, but as far as like physical strength, a woman can only be as strong, and there's nothing wrong with that. But they can be very, very strong if they put their mind to it. But there is this like this coexistence that happens between men and women, that they work together very well, and men are biologically strong.
Yes.
And we're made to be that way. And if we like shit, I mean 10 years ago I was maybe 180 pounds, so about 120 pounds less than what I am now. I was a beanpole. And I was not strong, but I was able to get strong because
you're also
of my
100
genes.
feet tall. 180. Listen, men. If you're under 7 foot tall and you weigh 180, you're not a beanpole. Don't listen to Matt. I don't know what kind of shit he's talking. You know, I weigh like 170, Dick.
Well, anyway, men are able to get stronger, and I've noticed that over the past 2-3 years that I've started lifting weights, I was able to get massively stronger than I've ever been before. But a woman will get to a certain point, and that's it, unless they take steroids or whatever. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they work together.
Talking about physiological change and shit, with the amount of normal estrogen that a woman produces versus the amount of testosterone that she normally produces. Plus, we talk about bone density, and that women have less bone density than men. Right. It's just science.
Yeah.
Their pain threshold is significantly fucking higher than ours.
Yes.
Women are just flat out fucking tougher than you. They genuinely
they really are though.
Dude, I swear to God, dude, I've seen my chick do shit with a full blown fucking cold, with the flu.
Yeah.
Full blown. Man, if I get a sore throat, I'm in the bed all day.
I'm out for 2 weeks minimum.
I'm a straight bitch if I get a fucking cold.
You woman, shit. My wife does the same thing. She'll get sick and she's running the house.
Back to work.
Yeah.
Sick. I'm
cooking dinner for everybody.
What the fuck?
what are you doing? What type of drugs? You
Yeah, what kind of drugs do you? That's exactly
where do I get those?
Yeah, it's nothing. Those are called ovaries, bro. And they just make you tough as fucking nails. But there's a thing that yes, that what you said is true, and like women are strong. Women are fucking strong.
Yes.
Women are capable of withstanding everything that a man can withstand. That is 100% fucking true. But dude, just to tell a story to try to drive this fucking point home. There was a girl that I was friends with in high school, and she was a 3rd degree black belt in fucking Aikido, and she also was, I believe, around a purple belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. She just started doing martial arts young, and she was fucking nasty. She was really good. She went to the world championships for Aikido, and she did really well, and she ended up winning 1st place.
Damn.
They were held in, I believe, Korea, and this is while we were in high school, and around our senior year, a dude that she was dating beat the living fucking shit out of her. And he was not a big guy.
Really?
He was not an athlete. He was not fucking the greatest martial artist in the world. Now, this same year, or just 1 year, less than 1 year prior, she had obtained the status of the best female martial artist in her age and weight class.
Yeah.
And got just fucked up by a skinny dude that wouldn't have even made a JV team as a senior if he tried out. And that's just a point to drive that point home, is that like there are some badass women on this planet.
Absolutely.
They're at best with a non-enhanced female athlete is at best a middle of the road man or an untrained man. Or and I know women that are way stronger than men. Now, I'm not trying to say anything like
you're
that,
right.
But I mean I'm saying with the amount. Yeah. So like I said, I mean there's I'm trying to remember where I left off so you can get a good splice, coming back in. There's some strong women out there. There's some women that are very capable. There's some women that graduated Ranger School. There's one woman that's earned her Green Beret.
Nice.
There's some women that are doing the fucking impossible. What was thought to be impossible for women, and they're still weaker than men.
Yeah.
Like the men that do the same things are still exponentially stronger than them.
Well, and think about it, women. And again, this is not an attack on anything, so before anybody gets their feelings hurt, women can be strong, but a man to become feminine has to get weaker.
That's true.
Right?
That's absolutely true. Yes.
I mean, and there's just no denying. Like, if I want to be feminine, I can't be feminine looking like this. I'd have to lose a lot.
You have to make a lot of fucking changes.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So, and that's an interesting thing that, like, society has been pushing males to be feminine. And because, like, in order to get a man like me to be feminine, it's not going to happen. If they're going to try to get you to be feminine, it's just, you're too far gone.
Right, yeah. I'm a fucking lost cause at this point.
But they can go after my boys.
Right, they can, because their fucking frontal lobes aren't even fully developed yet. So
and they're very easily
impressionable.
Yeah, you can easily convince them, like, oh yeah, absolutely, go like this.
Peer pressure's a motherfucker when you're, middle school, high school,
early
college. I tried so much shit just because my friends are like, hey man, drink this.
Yeah, do this with us.
Okay.
Okay, as long as you like me, that's fine.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, that was back, during my formative years before I learned to fucking, before my balls dropped, and I decided to just be my own person.
Right.
But there's assimilation, and that humans are 100% pack animals.
Yeah, they are.
We all like to fucking click up. You'll find, specifically talking to the Gen Z kids that are just getting out of high school and going into college, or these kids that, I don't mean to say kids, they're men at this point, but
right.
You men that are first, second year in college, you that's never going to change.
Yeah.
It's always going to be like that at your first job, and every job you go to after that, it's going to be cliquey.
Yep.
Because humans are pack animals, and you when in Rome, you do as the Romans do, and the nail that sticks out gets hammered. There's the squeaky wheel gets the oil. Like, there's a million fucking little one-liners that pretty much tell you, like, don't necessarily try to be different, but that's also bullshit. Like, like, be who you are.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, like, I'd say me and you are a very good example in a sense, because, like, you got your talents, your skills, your likes, and that is you.
Yep.
And at no point am I ever going to try to be like Dan. Don't care to. You're a cool guy. You're a good friend. But like, I'm not going to be you.
Right.
That's
exactly.
You know,
like you as a fucking like like a fucking alpha male should have no fucking desire to be like me.
Yeah, I appreciate the things you do. Like, you're very good with music, and that's a wonderful thing, and I appreciate you. Appreciate the stuff that you do, but like, I'm not gonna go be a musician. That's just not me. Why the hell would I even fake that?
Yeah, I mean, you know, like you with all the audio or the video stuff, like the computer stuff, really. Like, I don't have any fucking desire to learn. I'm a fucking idiot. Like, real talk. Like, I'm a complete buffoon. Like, I'm a caveman.
Right.
Like, I can barely work an iPhone. I don't know technology. You can ask Courtney about the amount of computers that I've broken. Like, I don't mean like made them inoperable. I mean like broke them physically from trying to make them do stuff.
You're the one that like hits the screen.
I'll just shake it and then it just shatters. And I'm like, what the hell? You know, right. Because I mean, like, I've been, you know, what do I know? I know fucking like classic cars, right? I know old tube amps.
Sure.
Sometimes you gotta whack them. You know what I mean? Like, you whack. Sometimes you gotta whack a little vacuum tube driven thing, and it'll start running.
Right.
Well, same with like old cars. Like, I remember learning to work on old cars and all the shit that my grandpa and my dad would just hit with a fucking hammer and it would start working. And I was
it does though.
I'm like, shit, that works. You know what I mean? Like, sometimes you just gotta hit it.
You go to the newer cars and everything fucking breaks.
Yeah, if you hit a newer car with a hammer, if you drive anything that was made after like 1988 and you hit it with a hammer, you're gonna fucking break it.
Yeah, I can't hit my Tahoe. It'll start throwing sensors and alarms and be like, "We're done."
Right.
Take us in.
So, but what were we talking about? Where were we at?
Just in the sense of like being unique, and if you want to be an alpha male, you have to be yourself. You can't keep
100%.
kind of trying to. You can't keep doing this thing where you're like, I got to be this person, I got to be this guy, or I got to have to do this. Like,
right, because you have to. The whole point of being an alpha male is to attract a mate.
Yeah.
Like, and that's the thing is that, and as an alpha male, you're going to attract more than one mate. You're going to attract. There's of everybody that's like your old lady or like within the same mentality and like-minded as your old lady, they are all going to be attracted to you.
Yeah.
Like, all of them.
Absolutely.
Same with me. Same with any of you. Like,
yeah.
if you're you know, the whole point of being an alpha male is to attract a mate. And even if you're homosexual,
mm-hmm.
and
same difference.
It's the same thing. You're going to attract multiple fucking mates that are that find you to be a top tier candidate.
Absolutely.
And that's what it comes down to. I don't really know so much about the psychology of the homosexual community because their fixation is more based on, I feel, and I don't want to say shallow, but I mean on aesthetics more than anything, because there's no desire to procreate. So there's gonna be a mental breakdown in
that makes sense.
What gay guys specifically attract a specific type, right? Because there's like 100 different words that mean a different type of gay guy, right?
And correct us if we're wrong in the comments. Like, obviously, you know, if we're saying something that you don't like, respond to it. We'd be more than happy to.
Yeah, if we're saying something that offends you, just go ahead and leave a comment, and we'll give you some detailed instructions on how to go and fuck yourself. Like, you know, I'm not trying to be. We're literally not trying to be offensive. So, like, if you're offended by anything that we're saying,
I'd say we're very fucking down the middle of the road. So, like, yeah, if you are offended,
you're being a pussy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, you're kind of.
You want to provide some constructive feedback or like actual intelligent conversation?
Yeah.
Let's fucking go.
Let's go. You're being a poof if you're offended right now, because we're literally not trying.
Going back to the uniqueness of being a male, that isn't a really interesting thing, because when I will say I didn't actually really truly discover that concept until after my first marriage, because to a point, like, I was trying to constantly be somebody else, be whoever she wanted me to be, et cetera, and it was until she left and I was able to actually focus on myself that I was like, this isn't who the hell I want to be. I love lifting weights. She didn't like it, but she wanted a guy with 2 trunk legs.
Right.
And, like, it was this weird shit like that, right? Like, but I'm like, I love lifting weights, and I didn't realize until I got out of her that I was like, this is awesome. I love lifting weights. I love getting strong. I didn't have a beard when I was with her at all. And then I started growing out. I'm like, I love this.
Yeah.
And I started doing more things that I was like, I loved who I was. I was doing things I loved to do. And then I got to a point that I was like, this is who I am. And then when I got with my now wife, and she completely accepted it. Obviously, she wasn't like, well, you got to be who I wanted you to be. It was just like she encouraged me to be myself, be an alpha male.
Right.
And that was one of the caveats I had with any relationship I was going into, is like, this is who I am, and fuck you if you don't like it.
Right, exactly. And like that's literally the mentality of, you know, somebody with a strong sense of integrity.
Yes.
Like it's self-worth, and it's the same kind of rhetoric that's preached within feminism, that women need to know their worth, which is 100,000% true.
Absolutely.
You need to know your worth. You don't need to be dating some dude that's a fucking, you know, a complete fucking loser.
Right.
You know what I mean? Which, I mean, I will talk to Courtney about this stuff all the time, where I'm like, I'm a loser. I feel like I'm a loser, and she's, look at all the shit that you're doing and all the stuff that you've done. And I'm just like, I still feel like I'm not doing as much as I could be doing in anything that I do, and that's the curse of, I guess, driven ambition, that you will always feel.
I say that's very healthy in a sense.
It's good, yeah. It's good because you're hungry. You're still hungry, you know.
It sucks because you never feel as much as fulfilled, but in a sense, like, if you feel fulfilled, you're done.
Right, yeah, and that sucks to say, like, that whole, the day you look in the mirror and like what you see, you lost. Right, because you're done. Right, so you have to always. But then the other thing about that is, like, you know, you should like what you're seeing, because what you're seeing is progress. What you're seeing is results. Like, I don't care if you eat like shit. I don't care if you barely know what you're doing in the gym. If you go in the fucking gym and bench, squat, deadlift fucking 3 days a week for 90 fucking days,
let's fucking go.
Next time you look at yourself in the mirror, you're gonna be like, who the fuck is this person? Like, you know what I mean? If you didn't look at yourself for 90 whole days, and you went in the gym for 90 days, 90 training days, so that's about 3 months. About 6 months rather.
Yeah.
It's about double when you do training days. But you go 90 days working out of the gym 3 days a week, bench, squat, deadlift, and that's all you do.
Oh shit! I noticed a big difference when I started doing that.
You're gonna get.
I went from working at like Planet Fitness doing.
Wait, you worked out at Planet?
All right, everybody, do not judge me at this
point.
So when I was young and naive, and being like 27, I wanted to get strong as shit, and I went to Planet Fitness because it was $10 a month. Why not? Right? It's a gym, and I started working out, started losing weight. At one point, I was like 300 pounds of fat, and I started losing weight, got down to about 250, and started getting kind of like some big muscle mass, I started trying to bench out of the Smith machine, started trying to squat, made the mistake of deadlifting out of a Smith machine once, fucked my back up, don't ever do that.
Yeah, it comes at an angle, bro.
Yeah. I had no idea. I was like, deadlift? What's that? Let's try it.
Just pick it up, right? I mean, that's what a deadlift is, right? Just pick it up.
Just don't do it on a Smith machine. Or at Planet Fitness.
Just don't go to Planet Fitness. The moral of the story is, don't go to Planet Fitness.
And that's actually an interesting story, because I brought Ashley, who's my wife, brought her there once, and this was like when we first started talking, and she's majored into powerlifting. She's got some medals and stuff. I think she might still have a record or not. She goes in there and she's like, all right, I'll work out with you, and she's trying to make me happy, right? She's being nice. And she already knows she's gonna hate the experience.
You took her to Purple Hell, and she's being nice at this point.
And she comes from like a grungy ass gym.
She wants a dungeon with
Absolutely.
chains and chalk.
Chains all the time.
Yeah.
So like, and she goes in there, she starts working out, and like this guy comes over and like he's getting onto her because her gym bag's like near the dumbbells. And I remember like after that experience, we sat out in the parking lot talking, but she's like, I'm never coming back here. She's like, if you want to work out, like come to a real gym and, show something. I was like, all right, sure.
Yeah, she fucking ego checks you right there. She come to a real gym if you want to fucking do that.
Me being like, I'm like, bright-eyed, bushy-tailed, I'm like, yeah, okay, let's do it.
Yeah.
So she brings me to Brits Brothers, in the old Brits Brothers, which was in a basement.
Yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah.
So, and if you ever never experienced it,
they were like a speakeasy gym.
Yeah,
it was like you
didn't know about it unless you were there.
They weren't supposed to be like having X amount of people.
Yeah, I mean it was grungy. I mean everything was rusted. I mean there was a leaky fucking ceiling. I mean it was It was gross.
It's amazing.
I fell in love.
Yeah, it's amazing.
I walked in there and I remember she was kind of like, she's like, okay, it's not gonna be the best gym. It's not clean. And I'm just like, where do I sign up?
Yeah.
This is awesome. I want to work out here.
There's that's a polarizing thing. There's some people that like I work out at Anytime Fitness at 2 different locations here around in this area. One of them is more grungy than the other one, and I prefer the more grungy one.
Oh, absolutely. I love
There's
them.
a ton of people that swear by the one that's closer to me because it's just wicked clean.
There's a different type of people. The gym I have a membership at Sports Club because it was for the meantime it's a little bit more feasible for us. But
Sure.
The gym I love to work out at TriFit is literally an old mechanic garage.
That's awesome.
Yeah, like I mean they got the mechanic doors and everything.
That's the thing.
There's no air conditioning
That's
and
what really
it's great.
drew me to CrossFit. Was like all CrossFit boxes are basically old oil change places that they just roll the roll up doors.
Yeah.
That's awesome, but
They're the best gyms.
But God, CrossFit is. If you do form, man, if you have good form, you can get hella yoked doing CrossFit.
Oh, I don't
You'll
doubt
be in
it.
the best shape of your fucking life.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if you snap some shit up in your shoulders.
Everybody
like,
usually does CrossFit. They get hurt
so bad. I fucking before I met Courtney, I dated a girl that did CrossFit, and she got fucking rhabdo, which is like rhabdomyosis or rhabdomyotesis or whatever. It's basically just your muscle tissue starts wasting into your blood.
The hell?
It'll kill you. Like, I mean, she had to be hospitalized.
No.
Nuts. Yeah. Yeah.
I thought powerlifters were bad for blowing out discs and shit, but
yeah, powerlifters are that's pretty big. Like what you do, powerlifting is blown out eardrums and
all of it.
Yeah, guys. Like,
I'm still waiting to get my nosebleed.
Guys, yeah, nosebleeds. guys. Oh,
I've gotten pretty close to it.
Yeah, you can in every sport, like with the exception, I don't know that there's that many like typical bodybuilding injuries within the bodybuilding community.
I think they pull a lot of muscles.
Courtney would know more than me. Courtney's got bodybuilding trophies, NPC and OCB.
Nice.
Yeah, she's fucking a phenom at that shit. I refuse to eat that way. I completely refuse to just eat like steamed chicken and asparagus for 9 months.
Let me tell you what got me into powerlifting. That was an interesting thing. I was I was on this date with Ashley, and we went to this concert. It was a Bad Wolves 5-Finger Death Punch in Simpsonville.
Gross.
Yeah, it was
5-Finger Death Punch. It's terrible.
Well, we went there for Bad Wolves.
I actually have to go.
we went there for Bad Wolves, and they got rained out or whatever. And anyway, we went there with a guy that went to Bridge Brothers.
Sure.
His name was Sean Chase, and the guy was freaking jacked, right?
Yeah.
And he was probably a little bit taller than you.
Sure.
But he was just like, I mean, just massive dude. And he was talking about like all this stuff like, he's like, oh yeah, I squatted 800 pounds. I benched like 400 something. And I'm like, me, you know, my little self benching like 200, 300 pounds at the time at like Planet Fitness. I'm like,
this man
really?
is a god. This man is a god.
And I was like, so what do you eat? Do you do like low carbs? He's like, fuck no, I eat pizza and beer.
Bro, I eat a gravy biscuit intra workout.
He's like
in between sets, I'm eating Bojangles, dude.
He's like, I don't fucking care what I eat. I just eat. I eat a lot. And I'm like, there was a point that I'm like, I want to be a powerlifter.
I could do that. Yeah.
I want to eat because at this point I was doing very low carb diet. Like I maybe took in 100 carbs a day.
Oh wow.
But
I was trying to lose weight though.
Yeah,
so that was a smart thing to do.
Right, and then I went to, and it was great. I lost a lot of weight, but I felt like garbage. And then I started to get to this point where I was like, I want to build muscle. I want to be strong as shit. And then I was talking to him, and he was like, yeah, I eat whatever the hell I want. Granted, I don't recommend to eat whatever you want. You still should have a good diet now that I'm into it. But it still interested me that, like, this guy was like, yeah, I drink beer. I do whatever the hell I want. And I still squat 800 pounds. And I was like, this sounds awesome.
Yeah, I mean,
I want to squat 800 pounds. That sounds great.
Yeah, it was literally a guy that, you know, to you at the time was just doing his own fucking thing. Because everything you've ever been taught, this dude is a fucking, he's either an anomaly or there's a different,
That's what it was.
There's a different way to do it.
He was an anomaly.
Yeah.
And it made no sense to me because the entire time I was like, this is what I was going down this path of, you're supposed to do this, you're supposed to do this, which goes back to this masculinity thing we're talking about. I was following this path and I was completely unhappy with what I was doing.
Sure.
Because I'm like, this is what I was told to do. This is what you're supposed to do. This is how you lose weight because guys are only attractive if they're skinny, but I have to be kind of muscular, but I have to be skinny. And then I started getting into this other field. I'm like, no, I can be whatever the hell I want.
You're right, exactly.
I can be super big, I can be jacked, I can be skinny. I don't really matter
Right.
as long as I'm happy. And I noticed the difference in like being miserable with who I was, and then changing that to being excited about like, I'm not the fittest guy or whatever. I'm not going to be the strongest guy in the room, but I'm happy with who I am.
Sure.
And that defined me as a man because I was happy. I didn't give a shit. And then that carried over to my romance, my dating life or whatever. Like, I just didn't care.
Right, but all those things, that positive self-talk into where you are now stemmed from you making a conscious decision to pursue your masculinity unapologetically, right? So
Absolutely.
That's what it came from, was you're a man, you feel like maybe not the best version of that man, so you start looking into, how do I become a better man? If I'm gonna steal Pat Mac again, dude. Like, if you clone yourself today, can you kick his ass tomorrow?
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's always the mentality that I have, like, every day. Like, you
Absolutely.
know what I mean? Like, yesterday I waited 7 minutes to make my bed. Well, I'm fucking beating that today. Like, you know what I mean? But just like everything, and it's just like healthy competition and just like pursuit of your own masculinity and becoming the best possible version of yourself. But if that person that is going to be, if the person that you are, if the person you need to be 100% happy with yourself you're a biological male and that person is a female, then by all means do that. Like, be that person. I'm not.
Be who you fucking are.
I'm definitely not advocating, if you are trans, if that's who you are, to not do it. But what I don't advocate is it being forced on children
that don't even understand what the hell's going on.
Their frontal lobe is not even fully developed. Like, they don't have the ability, like, okay, especially men, because guys are retarded. Like,
they are.
Like, we're really dumb until we're like, I'm still dumb. Like, I'm still dumb. But like,
I mean, everybody is.
They say 25,
right.
But like, that's bullshit. Like,
nah, we're dumb until we're like the old man that knows everything. They can't be told any different.
Yeah, and you're set in your dumb ways, and you're just telling, and maybe that's who we are right now. Maybe we're just a couple crotchety old dudes that are just like, y'all motherfuckers need to chill.
You're fucking retarded.
You're retarded.
You fucking retard.
I think we're gonna get canceled for saying retarded.
Oh yeah. I don't think you can say that anymore.
Yeah, you can't say it anymore.
I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
So like,
crazy. when I worked at the Special Olympics, and somebody saw some pictures of me working at the Special Olympics, and they're just like, man, you say retarded all the time. You work with these kids with special needs. I'm like, yeah, they're special needs.
Yeah, they're not retarded.
They're not retarded. Like, they have special needs. Some of them have learning disabilities, Down syndrome.
There's an absolute difference.
Developmental dysfunction. Like, a lot of them, they have problems. They need special attention.
Yeah.
They're amazing people.
But they're not retards.
They're not retarded.
You're a retard.
You're a retard for asking me that question. Like, I don't know. You're not allowed to say the R word. I know they'll.
Well, see, I say retard.
Retard. Okay, so you found a loophole.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, that's not cool. That's not cool, man. You gotta. That's almost conformity, dog. You're almost letting them win. I feel like if I ever saw somebody call somebody with special needs a retard, I would probably go to jail. Like,
oh, absolutely. I'll be right there with you.
I just
right.
whip their ass.
Yeah, there wouldn't be a question about it.
Right. I'm a man. I have to defend people that are weaker than me. Like, that's exactly where I would be with that.
Yep.
Like, I'm like, this person is weak, not necessarily weak, but weaker than me.
I'm going to defend them with whatever it takes, and I don't fucking care.
Right. Yeah. You're a completely able-bodied person, or a completely, functioning, sound mind.
It's that sign, that phrase, pick on somebody your own size.
Right. Yeah. And then I'd comma retard at the end of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a difference between like bullying and sexism. The thing about nomenclature, and if you don't know what that word means, just use Google. The difference between the big thing about nomenclature is that there's no such thing as a magical word, right? I don't know how we got on cancel culture, but I do want to talk about it. The fact that people get canceled for saying,
that should be the next episode.
People that get canceled for saying words, yeah, it should be on the next episode.
I like that option.
Like, the whole point is there's no magical words. The more you restrict something, the more power you give it.
Absolutely.
So if you make it where every time, you're not allowed to say this, you're not allowed to say it, you're giving it immeasurable power, so that when someone does pull that out, it's shocking, it's offensive.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like, so you're creating that. You're making it have all the power in the world by doing that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've ever been around a bunch of kids or athletes that are special needs. Man, they say way worse shit than to each other. I mean, like, I have never heard, like, some of the shit that I've heard these, like, Special Olympics athletes say to each other. Holy shit. I mean, like, their level of shit talk is, like, beyond what we could even, like, fathom.
Right. And if you've never, ever volunteered to be in part of Special Olympics, I recommend highly to do so. It is a wonderful experience.
It's amazing. Courtney and I did something up in Greensboro, North Carolina, where there was they were special needs children, and some with basically just special needs children. Like, some had mental handicaps, some had physical handicaps, but we're just basically playing baseball or kickball. Mm-hmm. And I mean, that was like one of the most fulfilling and rewarding days.
Oh, it's amazing
that I can look back on and remember, and we got to do it together, so that was cool.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, I did a we had to do one for psychology class in high school, and a lot of people, like, high school, everybody's like, that's stupid, and I went into it, and it was amazing. I remembered every bit of it. It was, I've thought about doing it again because it's just such a great time to do it. So again, if you ever get the opportunity, highly recommend it.
Yeah, that's a good thing to do, man. And it's not just because it's not, and do shit quietly. Like,
don't fucking post this shit on Facebook. Nobody fucking cares.
Nobody gives a fuck.
Come on. I mean,
really, nobody cares. Like,
I hate when people do this shit. They're like, "Oh, I helped this person out by giving." Nobody cares.
It's just like,
fuck it off.
It's like humble bragging.
Right.
Is what it is.
Do something.
Look how good of a person I am. Just be a good person. Be a good person.
Which I think it will go really well into finalizing this podcast out is what actually makes a man. And one of those things, man, woman, don't fucking care. One of the biggest things, like we just talked about, if you want to help somebody, you want to do something great, volunteer or whatever, do it because you want to do it, not because you're trying to chase the clout.
Right, yeah, exactly. Like,
that is the most cringiest shit I can ever see, is when somebody posts something saying, "Oh, I helped this person out, or I helped this family." Fuck off.
Yeah.
Do it because you wanted to do it.
You know how many times I stop and help people, like, broke down on the side of the road?
I don't. And I'm going to keep it that way.
Exactly. You don't know. You have no idea how often I have a lot of mechanical knowledge. You will never know how many people, unless you ride somewhere with me and we see somebody broke down, then you'll know whether I'm a piece of shit or not.
But you're not making posting selfies and saying how great you are.
Saw these people broke down, thought they needed a hand. No.
Hashtag do something.
Yeah, hashtag go fuck yourself. That's bullshit, dude. We're not.
So
you're trying to advertise that shit because you wanting some fucking hits of fucking social media dopamine.
That's what it is.
Trying to
social
get some
media
fucking
dopamine.
likes.
The idea of being a man, and again, this is not something to go against women or whatever. So if you're offended by it, go fuck off. But like, being a man is helping out people that cannot help themselves. Being like, if you see somebody that is, in a sense, weaker than you, it's not pointing out their weakness, but it's just being there, helping them out, and protecting them when they know they can't, and not saying a fucking word about it.
Right.
You're there to be there, and that's it.
Right.
You move on.
Yeah, that's a good point. I mean, if you got extra lumber, man, you build a longer table, not a taller fence.
Absolutely.
That's what being a man is.
Yeah.
Like, that's 100% of what that is. So, I mean, your job as an alpha male, as a fucking male in general, is to protect people that are weaker than you. Mm-hmm. I'm not gonna sit there and watch somebody weaker than me get hurt.
You get them, girl. I got you.
Yeah, really. I'll film the whole thing, right, and get a million likes on Facebook for posting the video.
No, I'm gonna jump in there, save her, and if she didn't need it, she didn't need it. But at least I know at the end of the day, I did something that makes me sleep well at night.
It doesn't matter if they needed your help or not.
Yeah.
If you felt like it was not going to go in a way that would be just.
Well, and isn't that just being a human being in general, that like if you see somebody getting attacked, somebody getting hurt, you jump in to help.
No, not in today's society. You see somebody getting attacked, you pull your phone out and turn that
fucking
camera.
record it.
You know
Facebook Live it.
You know why they made it so easy to get to the camera? You just boom, camera.
Yeah. Facebook Live the shit.
You never know when you're gonna have to film something. That's bullshit.
All right.
Yeah.
No, I hate that shit. And
I'm on social media a lot, dude. Like, I spend quite a bit of time on social media, like more than I like to admit.
No, I'm right there with you. But the problem is our business is like, you have to be on social media in order to have some sort of successful business.
Yeah, I mean, I'm also on there just reading too, like just reading the shit that my friends post and scrolling through Instagram and looking at the things that they post. That's a topic for another day, but I mean, the whole this is the photo album. There's no. Remember back when we had picture albums, photo albums as a kid, grandma's house?
Oh, yeah.
Get that big binder out.
Absolutely.
And just flip it through photos. There was no pictures of when, Uncle Woody held a knife to Aunt Betty's throat.
Right.
You know what I mean?
It wasn't in there.
It's the same thing.
Yeah.
But the difference is that social media algorithms are programmed to fucking show you when fucking Uncle Woody had a knife to fucking Aunt Bee's throat.
Exactly.
Like, that's what it's going to show you first. It's going to show you provocative, controversial shit.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just negative. It's bad. Like, I hate social media, dude. Like,
I'm right there with you.
But
I think it's a fucking plague on humanity.
I am guilty of being addicted to it, and I spend way too much goddamn time on it. But I at least know that it's bad, and I try to not create. The best thing about just being an alpha son of a bitch is just that you realize that, like, you don't have to do the same shit that these people are doing.
No.
Like, you know what I mean? And that's the thing. Like, people that are just like, oh, these people just bought this house. It's humongous. And they posted all these pictures of it. You're like, yeah, well, I don't have to fucking do that.
Who fucking cares?
Yeah. They don't, I can go fucking take pictures of somebody else's Ferrari and post it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
Like, you could take a picture of anything.
Yeah, and nobody knows the difference.
Nobody knows.
Nobody cares.
You could just fucking lie, dude.
But see, here's the thing. Nobody fucking cares. At the end of the day, nobody gives a shit.
Like, that's it. Like, there's nobody that's like, oh my God, I wish I had your life.
Right. So, it kind of wrapping up this, like, what it means to be a man. And I want to kind of wrap a lot of these podcasts up as these different topics of, like, what it actually means. Because there's so many different concepts, so many topics that we can bring up of what it actually means to be a man. And what I want to contribute to this is, as far as being a family man, like being a father, being there for my kids, is, I think we covered earlier, is protecting the weak.
Sure.
My kids cannot protect themselves. My kids need some type of direction. And there's times where I have to be the asshole.
Yeah.
And it's not that I love my kids any less. It's that I have to give the discipline. I have to be the bad guy. I have to show them the way. But at the end of the day, they still know this is my dad. This is the guy. This is the man. This is who I want to be. And my boys especially, I want them to know growing up that that their dad is the guy that they want to grow up to be. And then my daughter knows that this is the guy that I would like to find.
Right.
If that makes sense, right?
No, exactly. Yeah.
Because, like, and that's like the Sigmund Freud thing is, you're usually attracted to your parent.
Right. The Sigmund Freud thing, I think, is the first man a woman falls in love with is her father.
Right. And I want my daughter to see, and even the way, like, I treat my kids, the way I treat my wife, the way I treat other people, like, I need her to see this is who a man is. Not that, oh, I'm a fucking dude out there chopping wood and drinking beer and growing a beard. It's, I'm helping people when they need it.
Sure.
I'm there when somebody can't help it, when I'm out there working 60, 70 fucking 100 hours a week.
Sure.
To provide for the family.
Right.
But, like, that's, it's not something that I'm requiring any type of recognition for or reward. It's just, this is my duty, this is what I want to do, and this is who I'm trying to be for my kids, to provide a image that this is what a man is. And if you want to be a good man, in my opinion, it's doing something, not sitting on your ass collecting a unemployment check.
Yeah, some kind of state benefits or government benefits. Yeah,
like doing something.
Because what you're doing is you're leading from the front is what you're doing.
Yeah,
with children. That's what I would call it. That's leading from the front. So what you're doing is you're showing your boys, like, this is what you should aspire to be better than.
Yep, exactly.
And then you're showing your daughter, this is what you should try to find a man that's better at everything than me.
Yeah, the guy you bring home, he better fucking make me look like shit.
He has to do these things, and he has to do them well.
Yeah,
right.
Because I ain't gonna prove otherwise.
Right.
I mean, and to the point, like,
and you know,
to
I
the
mean,
feminist
she's
thing-
getting around that age too. Like, if she's gonna start bringing boys home, like in
I
a
told
couple
her
of
she
years,
can date after she's married.
She can date after she's married.
Yeah.
She's gonna start bringing boys home. So you're gonna have, you know, a litter box worth of shit to fucking sift through.
Yeah.
The guys that she brings home, because you remember who you were when you were 17.
Oh fuck yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean?
Guy that my daughter should be with, but yeah.
Right, exactly. That's
My
what
point.
I'm saying. That's the kind of. I mean, she's
But,
know.
and
I
I
know who
don't-
I was when I was a teenager, man.
Right.
I'd have kicked my ass, dude.
Absolutely.
Like,
And that's what I want my daughter to realize is that she doesn't need to find the little shithead, little fuckboy or whatever. Like, you want to date around, whatever.
sure.
But like, if you want to like actually be serious with somebody, you want to like be romantic, find somebody that is worth your fucking while.
Integrity.
Integrity.
Is it-
Somebody that can bench more than your dad. Stuff like
That's
that.
not gonna happen. I hate to tell Addie that.
I told Addie that
probably not gonna happen.
whatever guy comes home, he has to bench more than me, lift squat more than me.
His total, he's got to have like 300 pounds on your total.
Absolutely, minimum.
Oh, man.
Otherwise, it doesn't matter. He's just got to leave.
Oh man, I feel sorry for those boys that are gonna be coming over in a couple years, man.
Anyway, I think next week would definitely be a good week to
and it's
talk
not-
about cancel culture.
It's not a bad thing to cultivate masculinity. If you take anything away from this podcast, we're just two fucking dudes, you know.
Yeah.
Like, we really ain't anybody. Like if you, in terms of celebrity, but we're just like two dudes that feel like we kind of have our shit together because we can see peers and near peers
Yeah.
in our age group that fucking. I mean, I'm not trying to shit on anybody, but like I know a ton of dudes in their 30s that are just fucking ate up. Like they're garbage, dude. They might. I hope that they maybe watch some other of the people that inspire me, people that inspire you, and they start building some discipline in their life and get to a point where they're squared away. But like I said, it comes from cultivation of masculinity and being your own
Absolutely.
person. Like those are the two fundamentals of just being an alpha male is
Yeah, I'd say if
having
you
the
can take
ability-
anything away from this is find out who you are. Once you find that, do not let it go ever.
Right. Yeah, that's a good one, and that's probably a good one to close it out on. Yeah.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
So until next week, like, subscribe, all the good stuff, and
Whatever. Don't care.
whatever. Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But
Subscribe, whatever.
we'll talk about some more stuff.
We're gonna keep
Good
doing
stuff,
it whether
thanks.
you watch or not.
Yeah. Fuck yeah.